Hi, and welcome to my channel. You declutter your physical space, but have you ever thought of decluttering your emotions? Here's why you should consider it and 4 steps to get you started. Why declutter our emotions? No one knows what we're feeling. Sometimes we ourselves forget that they're there. So why not just let them be? The thing is, our unexpressed emotions can harm us. Sometimes our emotions feel too much to bear and we bury them as a coping strategy. Emotional clutter may stem from childhood traumas, past relationships, or any other unresolved issues. Sometimes as children, we weren't allowed to express our emotions. I don't know about you, but as a child with older parents, their philosophy was that children must be seen and not heard. If something upset you and you cried, the response was, "Stop that crying or I'll give you something to cry for." There was no validation of feelings and emotions. So to feel accepted, I buried my emotions. But then they came out in school and other settings. You see, when we don't express our emotions, they can appear in inconvenient times and unexpected ways. Psychologists say that repressing our emotions can have psychological consequences such as stress, anxiety, and depression, physical consequences such as muscle tension, digestive issues, and a weakened immune system, and social consequences such as struggles with emotional intimacy and vulnerability. Emotional clutter can weigh us down and keep us stuck just as much as physical clutter, and it's said to be a cause of physical clutter. First, we recognize the emotions. Are there any emotions that cause you pain and prevent you from enjoying your life? These are not occasional emotions. They are the long-standing, deep-seated ones that we forget exist, but that come up when we are triggered. Sometimes our negative emotions cause us guilt and shame, but we have to realize that they are natural and we all feel them. So no judgment. Here are 4 questions to ask. 1. What's the emotion I'm feeling? Is it anger, guilt, anxiety, sadness? 2. What's the trigger? Do you feel anxious when you have to deliver a presentation to your boss or confront someone you love? 3. Where does it manifest in your body? Sadness can be a hollow feeling in the pit of your stomach, or anxiety can be a pressure on your chest. 4. What's it trying to tell me? Perhaps you need to work on your self-confidence, or set some boundaries, or even do some relaxation exercises. We have to recognize our emotional clutter before we can process it. It's a process of self-discovery and self-awareness. It's not easy, but it can make a big difference. And you're worth it. Accept and embrace the emotions. And remember, no judgment. Next, we have to release the emotion. So we're bringing our subconscious emotions into consciousness so we can find an outlet for them. Here are 4 ways I use to release emotions. The first one is journaling. At night, I like to journal about any emotions I felt during the day so that I can process them. I find journaling therapeutic. It helps me to get in touch with my deep feelings and emotions. It's like validating them and giving them a voice rather than repressing them and allowing them to harm us. Often I can trace the emotion back to a past event or trauma, or a negative or limiting belief. Another way I express my emotions is by sharing them. Share your emotions with someone you trust and feel safe with and who won't judge you or think any less of you. Or seek out a professional who'll guide you through the process. Another way I release my emotions is through forgiveness. This year, I've had some rough experiences. I've been doing some house repairs and someone ripped me off, and that really hurt. And I found myself thinking and talking about it months after it had occurred. But one day it occurred to me that every time I think about it and talk about it and allow it to consume me, I'm letting that person harm me over and over again. Experts say that our brain can't tell the difference between fact and fiction. So every time we think about a bad experience, it's as if we were reliving it again and again and again. So I decided to forgive the person and myself. I let go of that emotional baggage and I feel free again. Forgiveness is a decision we make for ourselves, and it allows us to find peace amidst a difficult situation. It doesn't mean that we are condoning the situation, but we have to detach so that we can move on. Another way I release my emotions is through prayer. I ask God to heal my past hurts and restore my emotional health. If you believe in God or a higher power, try surrendering your emotions so that you can receive healing. feeling. So we've recognized our emotions and we've released them. Now we need to do some reframing. Sometimes we need a change in perspective to work through the emotions. Often our emotions come not from the event, but from our thoughts and feelings about it. Have you ever interpreted an event in a particular way and blown it out of proportion, and then you found out that you were all wrong about it? Negative thoughts come into my head all the time. Now when I think a negative thought, I observe it. I think of it like a cloud floating in the sky. Then I challenge it. I ask myself, is this 100% true? Usually, it's not. So I reach for a better feeling and more empowering thought. Have you ever thought, I'm such a failure? But is that really true? Have you failed at everything you've ever tried? Of course not. You may have failed an exam or lost a business or a relationship, but you're not a failure. Sometimes when things go wrong and I start to feel sorry for myself, I counteract it with gratitude. So this week, my car transmission died. And I acknowledge that it is inconvenient and expensive, but it could have been worse, and I'm grateful to have a car. So by looking on the bright side, I feel less overwhelmed by the situation. Reframe your negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. When a negative thought occurs, write it down and replace it with a positive one. Use the positive thought as an affirmation and repeat it as often as you can. We all experience hurt and pain, but it's all about what we do with the experience. We can use it to evolve and become better. As Jim Rohn said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. The next step is reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with yourself through mindfulness, relaxation, and self-care to help you manage those emotions. Emotional baggage keeps us rooted in the past, but mindfulness can bring us back to the present. Being in the present keeps us from ruminating or dwelling in the past or being anxious about the future. Exercise, meditation, journaling, art, or creative hobby can keep us in a state of flow, help us to process our emotions, and reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. Self-care is also about identifying harmful situations, distancing yourself from them, and establishing boundaries to protect yourself. Our emotional space needs as much care as our physical space, and our emotions can be our greatest teacher. It's uncomfortable to process emotions that have been with us for a long time, but releasing emotional clutter can free us from the burdens of the past. And with that freedom comes the ability to experience deeper connections and more joy. Have you ever considered decluttering your emotions? If not, do you believe that it's worth it? Or do you think it's better to let sleeping dogs lie? Thank you for watching. Please like,